and everything's great. I know why it's beneficial in the human, because the slowing down and the breathing and all of that helps keep the system healthy. And I'm assuming it translates to the horse. But what happens? You've got this horse, and they have all these years of, they become a good, rideable, they're solid, obedient, compliant horse, but kind of in human, like the pleaser.
So here's where a lot of times I will compare horses and humans. They love patterns. There is a false illusion of security when we maintain a pattern. This is what time I do something. This is how I do it. This is my expectation of the experience. I know what I'm doing and I can function. It's the same way in which people interact with their horses, whether it's through job, life, weather, otherwise. This is what time I go to the barn. This is what time I catch him. Every time I go to catch him, I have an apple in my hand. I always tack him up in the same place. I always start off riding in the same way. I warm up. This can create the idea that things are going well until something unexpected happens. And then what happens? That's where you start to see the holes, where how much of the interaction has been mindless and has often really been contained. Sometimes it's physically contained where someone is using strong equipment or the way in which they're riding, but often what I find is there is a mental containment, that we only ask certain things in a certain way because we don't really want to rock the boat and we don't really want to know if our horse is okay or not, so therefore we're going to stay on this side of doing what we always do. But unfortunately, in life and with horses especially, there are many unexpected things that come up. And
well, it is that false illusion of security. It's really, it's false. It's just not.
It is this
you're not ready to roll.
Idea.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
exactly. So a big part of this is really about adaptability, is how much can we change this idea that if I keep doing the same way in the same manner, that everything is okay. Because what happens the day that something's out of your control? Or up here, riding in the woods, the moose jumps out. You can't practice for the moose jumping out. You need to already have a predefined way of communicating with your horse to be adaptable, to where your horse says, hey, I'm not sure about how we're going to handle this. What would you like? Versus so much of the time when we have this contained animal and they will put up with a certain amount of pressure, that they're kind of always brimming on the edge. And it's just not until you ask the wrong question that all of a sudden you get all of that pent up concern, stress, and emotions that maybe they could cope with as long as everything stayed the same. But the day you change that pattern, the day the unexpected thing arises, all of a sudden, which really isn't all of a sudden, it just seems to be manageable up until that point, all of these emotions come out. And again, the horse's physical behavior is a reflection of his mental state and his emotional state. So when he melts down,
slow down on that one. Say that again.